guys, my name is Bree. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do a book haul. I was going to post a vlog, but I am not done with it, so stay tuned for that. So I figured we would do a book haul because I have purchased some books. Disclaimer, I think most of these I go to eBay to go to like second sale and thrift books and just like try to buy used books instead of spending an arm and a leg on books at like Barnes and Noble or Amazon or anywhere like that. I do have one Amazon package, I believe. And then we have some books that I've purchased semi-recently to throw in there too. So we'll have like unboxing and then some that are already unboxed. But without further ado, let's get started. So let's start with the Amazon box. And honestly, I don't really have a lot of recollection of what I bought. I kind of just went on there and went ham when I really needed some emotional therapy, and buying books is my emotional therapy. What we do when we need some mental health. Okay, Junie. I forgot I bought this. So I think this is the only one that I bought on Amazon. And honestly, I don't even remember a lot about what this is. I just thought the cover was absolutely gorgeous. As you can see, it is amazing. I think it's supposed to be like thriller, but set back. Let's see. Actually, let's just tell you. Okay, it says a young girl must face a life-altering decision after awakening her sister's ghost, navigating truths about love, friendship, and power as the civil war looms. So, a 16-year-old that was enslaved since she was born, Junie has spent her life on a plantation in Alabama. So, yeah, I think it's supposed to be kind of like thriller mixed with historical fiction, like Civil War, which sounds amazing. And I think this has really good reviews, if I'm not mistaken. So there's that. Book number 1, Junie. Super excited about that. Okay, now we're going to do this honking package that I think is from thrift books on eBay or second sale. Actually, yes, it's second sale. What is going on with my microphone? That's not a cute look, guys. Let's just clip that. We're going to look stupid, but it's fine. It's like Christmas. It's like Christmas Day. Oh no. Okay, well, this is what you get. And I'm pretty sure they said this is in good condition. I wouldn't call this good condition, but this is what I get for purchasing sight unseen. So, Kindred by Octavia Butler, as you can see, it's taped and it's missing part of its front cover. This is supposed to be super good. Okay, so we have this. Obviously, someone had read for like school because there's like a bunch of sticky notes, which is actually kind of fun. Yeah, that's kind of fun. So that might be like interesting to read while I read it, but I'm sure everybody probably knows about this. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's read the back just in case you don't know about it, you can find out. But Octavia Butler is supposed to be a really good author. I think she has a book that is supposed to like really like she like foretold the future. Not this one, but a different one of like times today. I'm gonna have to remember what it was called. But basically it was a book about all of like basically the events that are happening now in the world, which was kind of creepy because everybody's like there's so many parallels, it's insane. But that's not this book. Anyway, so this is Dana, I believe. A modern Black woman is celebrating her 26th birthday with her new husband when she is snatched abruptly from her home in California and transported to the antebellum South. Rufus, the white son of a plantation owner, is drowning, and Dana has been summoned to save him. Dana is drawn back repeatedly through time to the slave quarters, and each time she stays grow longer and arduous and more dangerous until it is uncertain whether or not Dana's life will end long before it has a chance to begin. So time travel, and it's, I think if I heard on a podcast that like the first chapter or the first paragraph really just draws you in. Anyway, I'm excited to read this because a lot of people have read this and it's supposed to be, I believe, a modern classic. So there's that. Wish it was in better shape, but hey. Okay, next, Beloved by Toni Morrison. Everybody knows Toni Morrison. I honestly have no idea what this is about, if I'm being completely honest. I just want to read some of her work, and I think this and The Bluest Eye are the ones that I have my eye on. So we have a lot of like slavery kind of era books now that I'm realizing it, but starring and unflinchingly into the abyss of slavery, this spellbinding novel transforms history into a story as powerful as Exodus and as intimate as a lullaby. Seath, its protagonist, am I saying that right? Seath was born a slave and escaped into Ohio, but 18 years later, she is still not free. She has too many memories of sweet home and the beautiful farm where so many hideous things happened. And Seath's new home is haunted by the ghost of her baby who died nameless and whose tombstone is engraved with a single word, beloved. Sounds really sad, but we'll see. The Kite Runner. Okay, everybody should know about this one. I'm not even going to explain it. The Kite Runner by Khaled Hosseini, I believe is how you say that. But again, just supposed to be absolutely amazing. I also want to read 1,000 Splendid Suns by him, so there's that one. Okay, this one. I have these papers in each one. The Help. Again, I am just realizing that I have a theme here, and I don't know why, or I didn't even realize it when I was purchasing them, which is kind of weird. But okay, The Help. I think everybody has seen this movie, right? Honestly, I didn't even know it was based on a book. So that's cool. But I love this movie. I think it's funny. My mom laughed so hard at this movie that she almost peed her pants in the movie theater when all about the pie. That's all I'm going to say. If you know about the pie, my mom thought it was so funny. So I wanted to read this because I really like the movie, but also that was just a sweet memory of my mom, and I love my mom. Okay, there's a lot more in here than I thought there was. Molokai by Alan Brennert. I heard this on the Currently Reading podcast recently, and it has amazing ratings. What is this about? I believe, if I'm not wrong, I feel like this author kind of takes real world situations and it makes, so you like learn when you're reading, if that makes sense. So like stories, but it reflects real history. So this richly imagined novel set in Hawaii more than a century ago is an extraordinary epic of a little known time and place and a deeply moving testament to the resiliency of human spirit. Rachel Kalama, a spirited 7-year-old Hawaiian girl, dreams of visiting far-off lands like her father, a merchant seaman. Then one day, a rose-colored mark appears on her skin, and those dreams are stolen from her. Taken from her home and family, Rachel is sent to, oh boy, Kalupapa, a quarantine leprosy settlement on the island of Molokai. Here, her life is supposed to end, but instead, she discovers it is only just beginning. So there's that. The leprosy island on Hawaii. I've heard of it before, but see, learning about that while also supposed to be a really good story. All right, Franz Kafka, The Metamorphosis. So classic. I have no idea what this is about either. Some of the most terrifying stories ever written, this says. Introduces us to Gregor Samsa, the young man who wakes up to find himself transformed into a giant insect, along with a horrifying machine in the penal colony. The merciless condemnation of son by father of judgment. Okay, well, look forward to this because this sounds like fun in a weird way. Rebecca, another classic. I want to read more classics this year, so that's why you'll see kind of more of them coming on, whether they're modern or truly like tale as old as time. But Rebecca, everybody knows about Rebecca. I believe Taylor Swift wrote a song about Rebecca. I'm not a Swiftie, don't come at me. But there's that. I used to be told that I look like Taylor Swift, especially back in high school. We used to do like our makeup the same way when she was first coming up, coming like popular, and everyone would tell me that. And I don't know how I felt about it, but there we go. Okay, Build Yourself a Boat. I think I saw this in a store in Colorado. Where was I? I don't even know what city in Colorado I was at. Outside of Denver somewhere. But I saw this at a bookstore and I took a picture of it. And so I have a picture, you know those pictures you save in your phone that you're like, I'm gonna take a picture of this, and then you don't look at it ever, and you have like hundreds of those and you never go back for reference. Well, this was one of those, but I actually went back and found it and I was like, hey, I should buy that. So this is called Build Yourself a Boat by, oh goodness, I can't even try, Felix. National Book Award long list. So it says, Build Yourself a Boat redefines the language of collective and individual trauma through lyric and memory. So I think it's poetry. Yeah, it's poetry. And I don't know. I liked the cover is probably a cover buy, to be honest. And Build Yourself a Boat. Seems very inspirational. Save yourself, you know? Okay, this next one, Morning Glory. I have no idea why this kept calling my name and reaching out to me. I kept seeing it, like when I would search used books on eBay, and I kept seeing this, and I think it has good Goodreads ratings, like a lot of, like, it's old, if you can't tell by the artwork. Yeah, when is this? But it kept like popping up, and I was like, I don't know why that just is calling to me. And you know, when a book calls to you, you just gotta pick it up. Yeah, 1989. It's a romance, I think. Yeah, Love in a Stranger's Eyes. In town, they called her Crazy Widow Dinsmore, but Ellie was no stranger to their ridicule. I can't talk today. She had been an outsider all of her life, growing up in a darkened old house under the strict eye of her eccentric grandparents. Now she was all alone, with two little boys to raise and a third child on the way. Will Parker drifted into Whitney, Georgia, one lazy summer afternoon, hoping to put his lonely past behind him. He yearned for the tenderness he had never known, the home he had never had. All he needed was for someone to give him a chance. So, yeah, this is Wanted, a husband. So, love story from the 1980s. Can't go wrong. Okay, this next one is so, like, I don't want to say overhyped. I'm sure it's hyped for good reason. And the only reason that okay, it's Heartstopper. Am I too old to be reading this? Probably. My birthday is in like next week, and I'm turning 34. Do I still want to read it because so many people rave about it? Yes. So I bought it used, and if it was like a book, I can guarantee you I probably wouldn't have picked it up, but it's a comic book, and so it's an easy way to see what the hype is about without sacrificing too much time. So there's that one. Okay, on to the ones that are already. Oh wait, no, I have more. Look at that. Wow, it's gonna be longer than I thought it was gonna be. My facial expressions are probably amazing when I'm opening these. Okay, Elizabeth Smart by Grand Central Station. I Sat Down and Wept. Just a very pretty copy. I heard about this from, oh crap, Leah. Leah? Yes. I believe that was who mentioned this. I'll link her channel down below because it's not coming to my mind right now. But she raved about this, and it's very short, and I believe it's supposed to be a classic. I honestly don't even remember what it's about, but it's supposed to be good. By Grand Central Station, I Sat Down and Wept. Elizabeth Smart's passionate fictional account of her intense love affair with the poet George Barker is widely recognized to be a classic. Okay, yeah, no, it's kind of coming back to me. So I think she was having an affair with a man, and I don't think that he chose her in the end. I could be, and this is just kind of her account of the affair, which honestly, affairs and like infidelity is not something I like reading about. It's not something I like, but I don't know why. I picked it up anyway, so we'll see if I hate it. Mary Oliver. Crap, I still have some to open. I was going to do this in a different, but now it's here. So Mary Oliver. I want to be a completist of Mary Oliver's work, so I picked up another one, Devotions. It's, poetry, very short. Shouldn't take super long to get through. I've already started it, actually. I think I'm on page 156. I don't know I was that far, but anyway, Mary Oliver. I love her. If I could marry her, I would. Okay, let's see. Let's try to hide my address and stuff so that, safety. Okay, another one, Done and Dusted. I know I said that I wanted to like bring a lot of books to this channel that are not overly hyped and just like constantly all over BookTube. But here I am, buying but Done and Dusted again. I just want to see what the hype's about. And to be honest, this is probably not a book that I am going to end up loving, and I don't know why I did it. So I moved to the South forcefully when I was a teenager, and so basically a lot of things that are Southern just kind of trigger me because I'm not from the South, and so I kind of try to stay away from that stuff. I'm already like planted here, and I try to get away as often as I can, but here I am buying books about it. Okay, so this is the last one that I have open. I actually have more coming in the mail, but it didn't get here in time, and I wanted to post a video sooner rather than later. Okay, talking about another overhyped book. It's not overhyped. I keep saying overhyped. I don't know if these books are overhyped because I haven't read them. I mean hyped. I just mean hyped. Hyped books on YouTube. One Dark Window. Again, this is one that I'm not going to explain because everybody knows what One Dark Window is about. It's a lot thicker than I thought it was going to be. But yeah, One Dark Window by Rachel Gillick. There we go. Almost bought that at Barnes the other day, but again, used is best, right? Okay, so now to the ones that I already have opened for real this time. This one I bought for my husband, and he actually started it already. Look at him go. So this is Left for Dead by Beck Weathers. You know anything about Everest, climbing Mount Everest? I guess this guy survived and shouldn't have, or something like that. In 1996, Beck Weathers and a climbing team pushed towards the summit of Mount Everest. Then a storm exploded on the mountain, ripping the team to shreds, forcing brave men to stretch and crawl for their lives. Rescuers who reached Weathers saw he was dying and left him. That's awful. 12 hours later, the inexplicable occurred. Weathers appeared blinded, gloveless, and caked with ice, coming down from the mountain as a dead man walking. That sounds intense. So, my husband has like an obsession, not an obsession. He just really likes Mount Everest stories. He watched this documentary, I think, and he was like, I would read that book. So my husband has said that about a lot of things. He doesn't read the books. I bought him lots of books. He'll read maybe like a paragraph, and I think it's just to appease me because I bought it for him. But this one, every night, he has been laying down in bed and reading for like at least an hour, and it's blowing my mind. It is blowing my mind. So it must be good. So that sounds interesting to you. Another one, Blue Sisters. So this is another one that was popular last year, and I wanted to pick it up because it reminds me a lot of me and my sisters. Thankfully, we not the death part. So this is about three sisters that go back to New York because I think their father died, I believe, if I'm not wrong. And so it's just kind of the dynamic of that. And I am from New York, and I have three sisters. Well, there's three of us that are like super, super tight. And then I have a half sister as well. But it just kind of reminded me of like the dynamics of sisterhood. And we all have to go home for a death, kind of. Everybody in our, I mean, everyone gets older, right? Your family members. So we do have to do that semi frequently, as sad as that is. And so that just kind of hit home. Secret Voices, a women, year of women's diaries. This is a chunker. So this is diary entries from a bunch of women throughout time, and it like kind of spaces it out through the dates. So like April 22nd, April 23rd, and it will have, for example, April 23rd, it has an entry from someone from 1617, someone from 1953, someone from 1945, 1865, and it goes all the way up to like 2000, the 2000s. So I thought that was really cool. I want to read more books about, especially nonfiction, about just women in general. I think you'll see that as a theme. I think that the more you know about your own kind and about, I don't know, just, I think women need to band together, and especially right now. But I thought that was interesting, so I like that. So this one has a fun story behind it. 2 years ago, I think it was 2 years ago, we have a little free library down the street, and someone put Blind Date with a Book in the little free library. They wrapped it up and they said it was a romance, and I just picked it up because I'd never had a blind date with a book, and it was free, and I was like, that's so cool. So I picked it up, and it went in my husband's truck. Somehow it made it there. I have no idea how, and it's been sitting there for 2 years. This shows you how often he cleans his truck, I guess. But anyway, I found it the other day, and I opened it, and he got all excited, and I had no idea. I'd never heard about it before. It's Unbroken by Laura Hildebrand, I believe. Same person that wrote Seabiscuit. First of all, I love this cover. I think it's gorgeous. It's a World War II story of survival, resilience, and redemption. So on a May afternoon in 1943, an Army Air Force bomber crashes into the Pacific Ocean and disappears, leaving only a spray of debris and slick oil, gasoline, and blood. Then on the ocean surface, a face appears. It was that of a young lieutenant in the plane's bombardier who was struggling to a life raft and pulling himself aboard. So began one of the most extraordinary odysseys of the Second World War. So I think it's about a survivor, and I do believe it's a love story. That's what my husband said. That could also be wrong. I think this is a movie now, or a while ago. I think he mentioned Angelina Jolie. You guys probably know better than I do. I never read it. Okay, or seen the movie. So my last one is, like I said, women. I want to read more books about women, especially nonfiction. So I got Inferior by Angela Sani, I think? Sayani? I don't know. But it's how science got women wrong and the new research that's rewriting the story. So, for hundreds of years, it was common sense. Women were the inferior sex. No less a scientist than Charles Darwin asserted that women were at a lower stage of evolution, and numerous scientists, most of them male, of course, have spent decades claiming to find evidence that women's bodies were weaker, their minds feebler, and their roles subservient. But now, a huge wave of new research is revealing that women are as strong, strategic, and smart as anyone else. An inferior, acclaimed writer, Angela Sayani, weaves together a fascinating and necessary new science of women, investigating the gender wars between biology, psychology, and anthropology, and delving into cutting-edge studies to uncover a fascinating new portrait of women's brains, bodies, and role in human evolution. So I think that if you can hear the baby, she just woke up. So yeah, I just think that this is going to be interesting. I also have a degree in psychology, so that just made it more interesting to me. I've learned a lot about women and men, and just everything is not how it's made out to be seemed, or how it's made out. Cutting that out, maybe not. But anyway, I think that would be interesting. So that's my little book haul. I have more coming again in the mail, but I didn't want to wait. I wanted to get a video up. So also look out for a vlog coming soon. It includes a little bit of clips of my trip to Mexico with my husband. Just a tiny bit, not much, but yeah, reading a few books. So thank you for watching. Hit subscribe, like, please. I would appreciate it so much. Thank you for being here. Sending all of you love.